स्टॉप थोड़ी करना हमें।
नहीं अब फिर स्टार्ट हो गया।
वीडियो ऑफ है इसकी। अच्छा, भाई रोहित को बात कर ले।
आधा मैं मैसेज कर दूं।
Good morning, everyone. So today we are going to start analysis of covariance. Basically, when we speak about analysis of covariance, in short form, people called it ANCOVA. As you know, in
ये मैं SPSS यूज कर रहा हूँ, ये दिखाई नहीं दे रहा ना।
सर एसपीएसएस दिखता है, वो तो चलता ही है।
अच्छा, दिखाएगा।
in sport science, there are so many situations where a researcher is not having the freedom for randomization of the treatment among the groups. Therefore, in such situations, researcher is using the intact groups. Intact groups means the groups which are already formed, and randomization and matching methods may not be feasible for the researcher, and because of that there are some individual differences in the beginning of the matching of the groups, or you can say that it is not 100% possible to match the groups. So in such conditions where randomization and matching cannot be possible because of the initial difference on the variables, under such circumstances, ANCOVA is most appropriate statistical technique to find out the impact or effect of the training program. So, जो इनिशियली आपके इंडिविजुअल वेरिएशन है या डिफरेंसेस हैं, that appears within the dependent variable. If it is a pulse rate, if it is your anxiety, if it is your speed, whatever it is. So individual variation that appear within the dependent variable are potentially correlated, and the potentially correlates are known as covariate. So therefore, when a researcher formulate the objectives in case of the analysis of covariance, he has to be careful about the wording of the objectives. So in that case, a researcher should write, for example, you are taking the pulse rate. Your variable is pulse rate या heart rate जिसे आप बोलते हैं. तो how you can write the objective? To compare the adjusted mean score the word adjusted must be used in analysis of covariance. Sometimes people don't write the word adjusted, then it is very weak and vague objective. So it should be like that, to compare the adjusted mean score of the pulse rate of athletes among among the experiment between the experimental and control groups, या among the different groups. वो आप जो भी जिस तरीके से भी लिखना चाहें लिख सकते हैं, but must write the word adjusted mean score, because here in analysis of covariance, why we are using the word adjusted in objectives, there is a strong logic behind that. The logic is that because of the intact group, whatever the individual differences are there in groups, analysis of covariance, while we do post analysis, during that post analysis, that adjust the initial difference, and after adjusting the initial differences, that try to bring under a common umbrella or a common term, or you can say that while adjusting the initial differences, analysis of covariance or ANCOVA help to find out the impact or effect of the training program on the variable among groups. So this was about a little explanation of this. Now, the pre-scores of a variable is considered as covariate, और आप इसको बोल सकते हो प्री ट्रीटमेंट स्कोर. ठीक है, अगर आपने हार्ट रेट लिया तो प्री हार्ट रेट स्कोर विल बी कोवेरिएट. और किसके अंदर एडजस्ट होगा? हमेशा प्री हार्ट रेट स्कोर में होगा. तो जो भी आपका वेरिएबल है उसके जो प्री स्कोर्स होंगे उनमें एडजस्ट होगा, पोस्ट में विल नेवर एडजस्टमेंट. सो मेक श्योर दैट you should remember that adjustment must be only in the pre, not in the post. So if you will formulate the null hypothesis will be, for example, there are three groups: group A, group B, group C. So and variable is your heart rate. So while you will frame the objectives, you will write like that: the adjusted score of heart rate group A is equal to adjusted score of heart rate group B and equal to adjusted score of heart rate group C. So group A is equal to group B, group C. So here word adjusted is used, and this is the only technical word which always used in the analysis of covariance. In other statistical technique we use to compare the mean score, but here we are using adjusted mean score. ये एक सबसे मतलब that is quite important things. Now let's have an example. For example, here, as hope this you are able to see this. For example, pulse rate. So in pulse rate, pre value, and it will be naturally post value also. As I told you, when we were doing dependent t-test या paired t-test, in which we were comparing pre and post data of single group, but in case of the ANCOVA, there can be multiple group, right? Two or more than two. जितने ग्रुप ले सकते हैं एट ए टाइम, नो इशू. सो बट the pulse rate will be in the pre and the pulse rate also in the post, and the pre and post data will be in the numerical form. Therefore it will definitely comes under the measures of scale. And in the third, the common word is used, intervention, treatment, whatever, but that word must justify the intervention of all the groups, group A, group B, group C. So therefore we are using this word treatment. Now, for example 1, the first group is taking Bhastrika Pranayama. So we are giving 1 to Bhastrika. Okay, then add. Then Ujjayi. Second, Ujjayi. And third one is control. Instead of 1, 2, 3, you can take any value here, that does not matter. But we are taking 1, 2, 3 because these are the smallest values, and a researcher can use instead of 1, 2, 3, 101, 102, 103 or 97, 98 or 99 or 1001, 1002, 1003, because these values does not have their own identity here. They are using here only to categorize or make the groups. So on the basis of 1, 2, 3, we divided into the 3 groups. Okay, then now you can see in the data view, we have taken the 9 subject. Your variable was pulse rate pre, this was pre, and this is called post. And now you have defined 3 in each group, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So 3 is your control group, 2 represent here Ujjayi, and the 1 represent Bhastrika group. So when the assumption of the normality are not able to fulfill, because the group are not randomly formed, to naturally there will be the violation of the normality. So this is such a powerful statistical technique under the parametric statistics, where a researcher, despite of the initial differences, can use a parametric test which is known as ANCOVA. So now go to analyze. As I told you, this is the master key from where you have to start your analysis process. Then here, till yesterday we were working in compare me, but today we are going one step ahead of this, and this is called today journal linear model. जर्नल लीनियर मॉडल. तो आपको दिखाई देगा कि जो जर्नल लीनियर मॉडल है उसके अंदर हम यूनिवेरिएट, मल्टीवेरिएट, रिपीटेड मेजर्स, वेरिएंस कंपोनेंट्स 4 दिए हुए हैं. तो ये जो 4 दिए हैं, यूनिवेरिएट, मल्टीवेरिएट, रिपीटेड मेजर, सो टुडे वी विल डू यूनिवेरिएट. So under the univariate, click, then new window will open. The moment you will click on the univariate, a new window will open. Okay. Now, first you have to see in that new window, थोड़ा स्लो चल रहा है.
That's how it is.
Yeah. Now you can see that new window. In this window you will see dependent variable, fixed factor, random factors, covariate. So what is your dependent variable here? That you have to see. So here your dependent variable is post data. So then click on post data and bring under the dependent variable. Okay. Then what was your covariate? I told you the pre-data is considered as covariate. So therefore, bring the pre-data covariate. And then random factor, there is a no random factor. So where the treatment will go? Treatment will go under the fixed factor. Okay, that's fine. Now come to the model. In the model, nothing you have to perform, right? Then keep it continue. Then come to the second contrast. Nothing you have to do. Keep it same as continue. Third one is plots, right? If you want plots, you can make here, but just wait. So you have to go then first thing in which you have to click, that is called option. So under the option command, again a new window will open, and in that window, first click on descriptive. Now you can see that a new window is open in which first click on descriptive. Okay. Then homogeneity of test. Yes, we also need homogeneity of test. Third one is estimate of effect size. Yes, we need the estimate of the effect size also. Then what next you need? Then the rest you can leave as it is. No need to do anything. And then say continue here.
Again, comes come.
कल है ना 30 को
Yeah.
सुनो
What's the problem? That's what I need.
Okay. Then ऑप्शन आपने क्लिक किया, डिस्क्रिप्टिव में क्लिक हो गया आपका, एस्टिमेट में हो गया, ठीक है। Then do continue here. 1 minute, let me. Okay. Then go to save option, unstandardize. You may check in if you need. Then rest is okay. Continue. Then EM means. Under the EM means, then you have to bring. अच्छा अभी आया नहीं. Wait. EM means this is called estimated margin means. Under this, it will show two things, overall and treatment. So you have to select only treatment here. Okay, because you are interested to know is there any effect of the treatment on the different groups. Okay, then compare the mean effect also. And that is called post hoc, LSD, Bonferroni or Sidder. So here you have equal sample size, so you can take LSD, then continue. Then it is fine. Next, nothing you have to do, only you have to do OK. Yeah, this is the output that you can see now. In the descriptive statistics, you can see there are 3 groups and each group is having 3 subjects and represent the number of subject, and Mean of the Vastrika group is 5 and Ujjayi 6 and control group is 9.66 with the respective standard deviation. How to you can keep it up to 2 digit and how to modify the table, that I already make you understand yesterday, no need to discuss on today. Yes, but apart from this, I want to discuss one more thing. Yeah, this is called Leveni test, which you have seen in previous statistical analysis also. Leveni test represent the homogeneity of variance. Basically, the homogeneity of the variance determine whether there is any difference between the groups, and if the significant value is more than 0.05, then in that case we can claim that all the groups have equal homogeneity of variance. It means the variance in the group A is same in the group B and almost same in the group C. We can't say that 100% is same, but it seems to be equal because the significant value, p value, is greater than 0.05. If it could be less than 0.05, then in that case, it is considered that assumption of the homogeneity of variance are violated. Next is test of the between the subject effects. This is called your main ANCOVA table. कौन सी टेबल है? मेन ANCOVA टेबल है. एक मिनट रुकना. आपने जमा कर दी का वो उसकी सिनॉप्सिस, और उसका कल क्या नाम है इसका, राम का निबट गया.
पता नहीं, मैं बना नहीं रहा। जो टॉपिक है ना, वो जो जिनके पास हमने कोई सजेस्ट किया था, वो लोग वो टॉपिक बहुत ठीक नहीं लगा। गाइड बहुत फिर फिर सम चीज़ें चले गई। बस मैं ये मोबाइल था और ये लगे।
नहीं तो फाइनल क्या रहा फिर कल?
फाइनल तो उसका टॉपिक भी मतलब वो कह रहे थे कि जो ट्रिकिंग डाउन है वो क्या होता है, वो हटा दो वर्ड, क्योंकि ट्रिकिंग डाउन इकोनॉमिक्स का वर्ड टॉपिक है, वर्ड है। इसको हम फिजिकल एजुकेशन में कैसे ला सकते हैं? ट्रिकलिंग डाउन कुछ और ये नोट कर रहा था, मीनिंग निकाल रहा था। तो सी लगी था आपकी स्टडी तो बहुत ही सिंपल है कि इफेक्ट ऑफ आईपीएल ऑन ग्रासरूट लेवल, इतना था हिसाब ऑफ क्रिकेट गेम नॉर्थ लीग। आईपीएल का इफेक्ट क्रिकेट नॉर्थ लीग में क्या पड़ रहा है, आपकी स्टडी यही है। ट्रिकलिंग डाउन लगाने का मतलब वो कहते ठीक है, हमने उसको बोला कि उन्होंने कहा कि हम अभी 3-4 दिन में ये टॉपिक फाइनल करके फिर आपसे जैसे हम बता देंगे।
नहीं वो सही है, वो टाइटल को, टाइटल और जो ऑब्जेक्टिव है उन्हें मिसमैच हो गया.
सर ऑब्जेक्टिव नहीं चाहिए,
तो मैंने तो कल कहा था तभी.
बिल्कुल बेकार सुनता।
वहां सिर्फ इतनी बात आती है, वो ये देखना चाह रहे हैं कि आईपीएल का इम्पैक्ट नीचे आ रहा है कि नहीं ग्रास रूट लेवल पर. हाँ म्यूट तो है.
नहीं सर, इसमें करो शॉर्ट वाला प्रोजेक्ट से वाला नहीं है, जस्ट मैं इसमें
हाँ
सानिया वाला है।
हाँ, तो उसमें ये है, अभी बंद होगी.
तो फिर उसको साइड आपके वाला ये सारे बराबर में शॉर्ट है, वहां से
उसका एक है.
आवाज आने से ये वाला समथिंग इसको ऊपर ही
माइक ऑडियो लास्ट तीसरा वाला
चलिए. So in continuation to the main ANCOVA table, as I told you, when ANCOVA you apply for any statistical technique, it will in SPSS you will find so many things. But whatever you need to put in your study, that you have to be very smart. Even though under the main table of this, if you will see, it is corrected model, intercept, repulse, treatment, error, total and corrected total. So you have to see the significant value of the treatment under treatment. If you will see the F value, which is known as 10.055, and its corresponding P value is 0.018. It means if the P value is less than 0.05, it means the training program adopted by the three groups significantly produce the impact on the pulse rate of all the groups despite of the initial differences, and initial differences were adjusted because of the technical structure of the analysis of covariance, and in which you will find sum of squares, degree of freedom. Degree of freedom you can see here total 2 and 8, corrected total 8, mean square f and partial eta square. This is very important in case of the ANCOVA. Partial eta square represent the effect size in your study. It means whatever you are claiming about your study, whether your study is sound enough. Study means here I am talking about your intervention training. Is your training is sound enough to produce the significant effect on the pulse rate? So 0.80 means that it should be considered in percentage. So it will be 80.1%. You can claim that there is an impact of the different training programs on pulse rate. इसका ये मतलब है, if it could be 451, 0.451, in that case you will write 45.1%. If it could be 0.901, then it is 90.1. It is like that. But in this table, you no need to consider corrected model, intercept. So this can be modified like this. That's all. It should be like pre-treatment, error, total and corrected total. Now, there is another one important table, and if it is 0.018, it means the groups are significantly differ in pulse rate. If they are differ, then you have to find out which training program is most effective. Which training program is most effective? So to find out the most effective training program, what you have to do? You have to do post hoc analysis, because on the basis of post hoc you can find out which is the best. In when there was a single group, in the single group You were trying to find out on the basis of the mean, the group which is having the better mean. In case of the explosive strength, that was considered the best. But here, there are three groups. So to compare the three groups, you have to apply post hoc data. So before that, I want to tell you one more thing. Estimates and dependent variable is post pulse. So this table is used to compare the mean score mainly, not the descriptive statistics in case of the analysis of covariance, because this table represent the adjusted mean score. तो यहां पे आपको देखेंगे आप भस्त्रिका का जो मीन है 5.376 है, और जब आपने इसका पहला देखा था तो 5 था भस्त्रिका का मीन 569.66, but it is not like that now. It is 5.37, 5.95, 9.33. So how this change over here? It is changed because of that adjustment. That's why I told you adjusted mean score. इसलिए हम बोलते हैं कि टू कंपेयर एडजस्टेड मीन स्कोर, तो यहां पे जो ये टेबल है आपकी भैया, इस टेबल में लिखा भी है ए क्या है आपका, कोवेरिएट अपीयरिंग इन द मॉडल आर इवेल्युएटेड एट फॉलोइंग वैल्यूज, प्री पल्स 3.88, उसके आधार पे एडजस्टमेंट हुआ है, इसलिए ए लिखा आ रहा है एडजस्टेड, एंड दिस टेबल मस्ट बी लाइक दैट ओनली, यू कैन नॉट चेंज एनीथिंग इन दैट एक्सेप्ट 95% कॉन्फिडेंस, ये आप हटाना चाहें तो इसको गुड बाय कर दीजिए, दैट्स ऑल। ये आपके टेबल फिर ऐसे हो जाए। तो ये जो आपके तीन स्कोर हैं 5.37, 5.95, 9. These are the main score on which you will do your comparison, और जो आप ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन बनाएंगे वो भी इसी के बेस पर बनाएं। प्री के बेस पर टेक्निकली जो आपका फर्स्ट डिस्क्रिप्टिव था उसके बेस पर टेक्निकली नहीं बनाना चाहिए, अगर बना भी रहे तो फिर दोनों बनाओ, लेकिन ये मैंडेटरी है कि आप इसके ऊपर पोस्ट होक का आप इसको वो बनाएंगे अपना ग्राफिकल रिप्रेजेंटेशन एडजस्टेड स्कोर के आधार पर। बाकी प्री को भी उसमें ऐड करना चाहते हैं तो दैट इज फाइन, सो बट इट शुड बी लाइक दैट, वन प्री एंड फॉलोड बाय द पोस्ट। तो आप बता सकते हैं कि कैसे प्री से पोस्ट में एडजस्टमेंट हुआ है। Now the next important table is pairwise comparison. In the pairwise comparison, one thing which don't be required, it is 95. This, yeah. Now, yeah. You can see there P value. Bhastrika and Ujjayi. No significant difference was found, as the p value is greater than 0.05, which is 0.547. However, Bhastrika and control, which is 0.011 and less than 0.05. Therefore, the Bhastrika and control group are not having the same pulse rate after the treatment. And now, Ujjayi and Bhastrika, it is already done over. So no need to this. No need to this. Consider. Now, but yes, Ujjayi and control didn't consider over above. So here it is also less than 0.01. Sorry, 0.05. So still there is a difference between Bhastrika, Ujjayi and control group. And the last two table, it is last two rows, it is already appeared above, so no need to consider here. Cut. इतना ही लिखना है आपको, यहां से हटा दीजिए। अब आपको क्या करना है, ये देखना है कि सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस तो है, बट आउट ऑफ दीज थ्री विच इज द बेस्ट। अब ये किसके आधार पर पता चलेगा, अब आपने ये तो कहा जी कंट्रोल ग्रुप से तो सिग्निफिकेंटली डिफर करते हैं, भस्त्रिका भी उज्जयी भी, बट देर इज ए नो सिग्निफिकेंट डिफरेंस बिटवीन भस्त्रिका एंड उज्जयी परिणामा एट 0.05 level of significance. But how you are claiming that? Now that's why you need the help of this adjusted means. Now you will see 5.37 and 5.95. The values are very close. Therefore, the Bhastrika and Ujjayi Pranayama are produce the same effect on pulse rate, and it may be considered they have equal impact on the pranayama, on the resting pulse rate or resting pulse rate. However, the both the training program are significantly differ from the control group. So overall, it may be concluded that both the training program are superior to the control, but produce the impact up to the same extent. So therefore, it is the choice of a researcher, choice of a coach, choice of a trainer, instructor, educator. He can take any of these pranayama technique to significantly improve the pulse rate. And there is one more last table. This is also based on the post, but it is already included. Sometimes people don't use this table, test between the subject and effects. They don't consider this and take only univariate test, this one. So this is also fine. But when you take this one, here you can better explain about the pre, error, total and corrected total. So this was about the analysis of covariance. You can take as many as group. अगर आपने यहाँ पे 10 ग्रुप भी लिए, 10 ग्रुप का एनालिसिस एक साथ हो सकता है, बट एक वेरिएबल का एक बार ही होगा. अगर आपने अपनी स्टडी में 10 अलग अलग वेरिएबल लिए हैं, तो उन 10 वेरिएबल के केस में आपको 10 बार एनकोवा लगाना पड़ेगा. सेपरेट एनकोवा फॉर एवरी टाइम. And this was the one-way analysis of variance because there was only one factor, that is training only, right? जो आपका ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम था वो एक फैक्टर था, ठीक है. There was no other factor than this. If it could be gender also here, so it can be factorial ANCOVA, या आप उसको बोल सकते थे टू वे ANCOVA. जेंडर के साथ ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम और टाइम भी आ जाए, दैट इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड फैक्टोरियल एनकोवा, बट इट इज कॉल्ड थ्री वे एनोवा. सो यूजिंग वन वे एनोवा, टू वे एनोवा, थ्री वे एनोवा, it is the choice of the researcher how he has prepared or formulated the objectives. So that's why those who are interested to use ANCOVA in their study, they at least after this class, they should use the word adjusted mean score in their objectives. इतना तो लिखना चाहिए, ठीक है. If you have any query regarding this ANCOVA, ठीक है, you may write comments. For master degree students, your ANCOVA is over. For PhD students, we will also discuss two-way ANCOVA. So that will be tomorrow or either evening. I will let you know. If you anyone have any query, please you may write in the comments, please. Okay then, thank you.